Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome to 99. So this is the first episode of 99. If you guys don't know, I will always make an introduction about myself during the first episode of each playthrough. But yeah, as I said, I'm Azai. I have been playing visual novels for 10 plus years at this point. And I really like visual novels that have an emphasis on mystery and also what else I'd say? I guess I used to like slice of life stuff, but as I grew up or as I grow older, my taste kind of changes. But yeah, this is the next Let's Play pick for the YouTube visual novel. So 99 got picked. If you guys want me to Let's Play any new visual novels, do tell me on the comment. I'll probably make like an update video whenever I do like get the poll rolling and then have a comment where I list out all of the visual novels that are in the pool, you know? So that people don't actually put in comments about the same stuff anymore. I don't think it happened yet, but you know, just to make sure that there's no duplicates or anything. But yeah, I don't really know anything about this 9-9 thing other than the fact that there's 4 games and then like a DLC chapter, like an extra game, and the fact that one of my friends really liked this game because of probably because of the main heroine. He doesn't really talk much about the story itself, so I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I've only read through the synopsis for the first one, which is saying about how we live in a pretty peaceful town and whatnot, and then suddenly we got some sort of superpower. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. But first things first, I gotta go to the config, of course. We will be going full screen. I don't know why it's not going full screen. It's actually showing my Windows. Well, that's something. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's going full screen now. There we go. Okay, it's going full screen now. All right. I don't know what happened there.
9
Kokono Iro, I think Iro is like a color. Not Kokonotsu? I don't know what the hell that means. Kokono Ka? I actually don't know either. Koko is like here. So I'm not sure what they're implying, I guess. Ooh, subtext language. You can actually put Japanese here. That's pretty nice. H scene animations. As you can see, I'm playing this with the, you know, with the H scenes, because on Steam you can probably play without H scenes. I'm not exactly sure, but I am buying this on Steam. Window transparency, I would probably make this into that much. That's what I usually like. Notebook, simple. That's whatever. Master sound, I don't mind making it like 90. BGM is a bit low, so I'm gonna make it like 55. H-scene sound effects. I usually don't really like H-scene sound effects, so I might turn that off, but we'll turn that on for now. H-scene background. Oh, this is the one that I actually don't like, so I guess we'll set it to 50 for now, but once the H-scene is there, we'll see what's gonna happen. Okay, everyone is at 100. There we go. I really like voices to be usually at 100 because they're kind of low at times. Man, this is kind of a spoiler. Usually when you go to these like voices, if you haven't really met the person, like some visual novels actually give you like question marks so that you don't know who they are. But not this one. But yeah, enough me fumbling around with the main menu talking about everything. Let's just start the game, shall we? Turn on protagonist voice? I mean, usually I voice act the protagonist, but I still probably will be voice acting the monologue, so I don't mind turning on the protagonist's voice. Sometimes, for some people, this can actually be a bit triggering depending on what type of person the protagonist is. But I personally don't really mind them. Yeah, see, there we go. I still voice act. A while back, there was this anime called Mobius Ring, the cycle of reincarnation. Huh. Okay. The town I live in, Shiro Mitsugawa, helped sponsor it as a way of promoting tourism to the area. I'm not even like looking at the Japanese text much. I don't know how useful that's gonna be, to be honest. The text is pretty small though.
環境設定です。ダイアログの設定です。
If I actually turn
メッセー
off,
ジの設定です。
if I turn that off, does that actually mean that
シ
the
ステムの設定です。
that the text is gonna be bigger?
メッセージの設定です。
Because it's really small, right? Yeah, oh my god, okay, it's actually much smaller if you do enable the text. So sorry for people that actually want to see the Japanese text. I will be not using it. Because this is much better for people to see. Even though I am voice acting it, but it's mostly gonna be the monologue, right? When people are actually saying stuff, you guys are gonna have to read what's on screen. The show had some convoluted plot based off of local folklore. It left a big impression on a small group of dedicated fans. But most people regarded it as one of those oddball shows that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Though it went down in anime history as a complete failure, it's unclear whether the bigwigs behind the regional sponsorship deal are clueless to that fact, or simply aren't willing to admit it. It's been 2 years since the anime aired. And here we are at the second annual Mobius Festival, a ham-fisted attempt to get some mileage out of the anime despite the local residents' overwhelming opposition to going through the cringeworthy event a second time. That's actually a very long sentence. There's a comma, but only at the very beginning. Though as it turns out, the festivities end up being the furthest thing from anyone's mind.
皆さん落ち着いて、スタッフの誘導に従ってください。
A rather scantily clad cosplayer shouts to the smattering? What does that mean? A festival goers. Wowza. I guess this is why people come to conventions. I know that if you go to like anime conventions, some people would dress up very scantily like this. I haven't really seen one in Japan, but I know for a fact that if you guys are somewhere in Southeast Asia like me, no one would dare wear something this crazy. Like, I don't think people are that shameless over here. But maybe in Japan it's kinda like this? I don't know. The majority do as they're told, while the more diehard enthusiasts continue their quest for the ideal camera angle and snap away. Pretty impressive dedication, considering the rather substantial earthquake we went through a minute ago.
かけるな兄貴、持ってきやしたぜ。
I blink and turn around to find Sora, my younger sister.
ほい、絆創膏。
Thank you.
I take the bandage and wrap it around my bloody right index finger.
結構ざっくりいっちゃったね。痛そう。
That looked like it smarts? What the heck? This localization's weird.
部活に触るんじゃなかったな。あれやっぱダメか。
さあ、なんか難しい顔してたけど。あ、来た来た。気になるなら持ち主に聞いた方が早いよ。
I look over to where Sora is pointing to find a woman slowly walking towards us. This game is kinda short, by the way, because these are episodic. Though I don't know whether or not the length is gonna be very accurate. Because in VNDB, I think this one was like 9 hours, so I assume each episode is about that length. She's one of the family that runs the shrine, and she works as a shrine maiden here. but she's just walking around in casual clothes rather than wearing the traditional shrine maiden outfit. It just ruins the whole festival atmosphere. Incidentally, she's also a teacher at our school, Akusen Academy, and while I call her Miss Naruse like any good student would, she's always saying she prefers Satsuki-chan. A shrine maiden and a teacher. I guess you could say both of those jobs are something of a higher calling.
どうも大変っすね。
ねえ、あのアニメで変な人イラつくようになって迷惑してたし、フェス中してざまあみろって感じだね。
She's very blunt. As you can see, she has a lovely personality.
落書きされたこともある。
そうでしたね。
消毒液持ってきたんだけど、もう絆創膏しちゃった？
ああ、いいっすよ。軽く洗ったし。
古いものだし、未知のばい菌でもなければいいけど。
消毒液ください。弱っ。
I think she said yowa, which is like weak.
うっせえな。
Yeah, the localization definitely adds more words than needed, but I guess it's fine. I accept the disinfectant and continue the conversation while pouring the liquid on my cut through the bandage.
仁義ってやつ修復できそうですか？
無理じゃないかな。完全に壊れちゃったし、これからは紙粘土とかで適当にレプリカ作って持ちとけばいいでしょ。マジっすか？いいっすかそれで。
This is really not what I'm expecting from reading through the synopsis of the game from VNDB. I thought we were supposed to have like superpowers, but maybe the prologue doesn't show it yet. Maybe I spoiled myself by reading through like the first game synopsis.
So.
But I hope that's just like the prologue of the game, like the first hour or something. Because if that actually happened at the very end of the episode, or not the episode as in my recording episode, but of the game episode, I'd be pretty pissed. This should be a disaster, but Miss Naruse seems oddly optimistic about it. Or maybe apathetic is more the word. The sacred relic. According to local mythology, it was a treasure bequeathed by a god. Oh my god. Stop using big words. And it also featured in that anime. And it was no prop. Legend says it's a relic from ancient times and has been safeguarded in this very shrine since the days of old. The sacred relic is an oval-shaped sphere no bigger than a fist. At first glance, it looks like a rusted hunk of metal, but it certainly does exude the aura of something rich with history. The shrine was keeping it out on display for the festival, but during that earthquake a minute ago, it got smashed, much to our surprise. It rolled right off its pedestal and fell to the ground, where it shattered into pieces. I thought it was metal. Though it looked like metal, it was apparently as fragile as glass, okay. The resulting mess having been deemed a safety hazard, I was ordered to clean it up, which is how I ended up stupidly cutting my finger. Weren't you using a broom? What the hell? Did you pick it up with your fingers? Had I known this was in store for me, I wouldn't have taken this side job to begin with.
さてさて、新見兄弟。
はい。
ウィース。今日はもう帰っちゃっていいよ。フェスどころじゃないだろうし。
I gotta remember these guys' names. So Sora, Naruse, Satsuki, and then Takeru is our main protagonist.
え、いいんすか
Nimi is our family name.
いいんじゃない？知らないけど。ほんと適当だな。まあ、私はバイトじゃなくて遊びに来ただけだからいいんだけど。いいや、帰ろうよ。
Yeah, I don't really like the localization of this. This is reminding me of like the localization for Sengoku Rants, where clearly she just said Neon, which is just a different way of pronouncing Nichan, I guess. But man, Broski is just so awkward to see. Thankfully, I don't have to voice act, or I don't have to, you know, say that word because, ugh, that's just weird.
帰れるなら帰りたいな。
I take a glance.
ごめんなさい。 今は写真はご遠慮していただけると、まだ自信あるかもしれないので避難を。
A few guys with cameras are so crowded around that cosplayer, putting her in quite the awkward predicament.
九条さん真面目だね。
The cosplayer is Miyako Kujo. I really doubt anyone who's diligent would actually be cosplaying in an outfit that revealing. She's working the festival just like me, and not only does she go to the same school that I do, she's also in the same class. We've had a little interaction outside of that too. Well, sort of. Truth is, we've hardly ever talked. We're not what I'd call close, not by a long shot. But when I see her working so hard, it gives me second thoughts about taking Miss Narise's advice and bailing.
あのレイヤーさんかわいいな。声優さん引っ張ってきたとか？声優さんっていうかスポンサーさん？
Why the fuck would a sponsor actually do shit like this? Huh.
え？コロナグループの社長令嬢。何？コロナグループって。
コロナ飲料なら聞いたことあるだろ。
え、あのコロナ？コーラとかの？そうそう。マジで？
マジ。割と有名だぞ。うちの学校にコロナのお嬢様いるって。
They missed the fact that he said they're pretty popular or something.
なんで社長令嬢自らあんなことしてるんすか？アニメがこけて住民に迷惑かけたのに見て見ぬふりはできないって一番辛い仕事の立候補。え、あの人個人がスポンサー？まさか企業として出資してるわけだし個人でお金出したりはしないでしょう。
I mean, she's the daughter of some bigwig, so she probably has a shit ton of allowance.
親のしたことに責任感じてるってことです。
そうなるな。
性格良さそう。実際いいよね。成績も上位だし。パーフェクト超人かよ。なんかムカつく写真撮っておこう。
God, I really don't like the fact that they're using these weird, really, you know, annoying words. Miscongeniality? Are you fucking kidding me? She clearly just said perfect. Why can't you just say Miss Perfect? It really bothers me sometimes when localization is kind of like making the dialogue a bit more smarter than it seems, right?
取ってどうすんだよ。
いつか何らかの機会に脅しの道具として使えるかもしれない。
クズだなお前。
親の格も違いすぎるよね。アマかけるとか中二ネームつけちゃう両親に育てられたせいで私こんなんなんすよ。
お前大体天と呼ばれるよな。
I don't think she even said that last sentence there.
空って呼ばせたいなら普通の空でいいじゃんね。そのうち絶対解明してやる。せめて漢字は変えてやる。天さんってあだ名つけられたりしてそう。あの漫画みたいに。さよなら天さん。
Yeah, I mean, the localization is not the best here. I'm probably not gonna bring that up again. I don't have anything good to say.
え、何それ？
知らん。
世代の差を感じてムカついたので早く帰ってください。
じゃやることもなさそうなんで帰ります。
I sat up and glanced over at Kujo before getting ready to head back. Kujo Corona, I guess, is her name. Corona might be her family name, I guess. Or maybe that's just the brand name for the cola.
ごめんなさい。ポーズとかそういうのはないです。私ただの会場案内ですので。
Okay, it's Miyako. She's having a hard time handling the few remaining guys who insist on taking pictures of her. She really looks like she's in a bind. Well, it's not my problem. I agree, Kakeru. Just because she's a beautiful girl doesn't mean I'm gonna do anything to help her out. I like you. Main character? I'm in sync with him. I'm sure she'd really appreciate if I dashingly stepped in to offer a helping hand. But unfortunately, I just can't muster the will to walk out onto that battlefield.
行くぞ、ゾラ。
はい。 いよ。さつきちゃん、またね。お疲れ様。
We leave the shrine and start heading home. There are a few people who look like festival goers here and there. Probably heading towards the station, I bet.
にいに、本当によかったの？
My dude, oh my god. Ugh! Why do you do this? Who localized this? Oh my god.
何が？
途中で帰っちゃって。一応クソフェスまだやってんじゃん。
俺は神社の手伝い。九条と違って正式なスタッフじゃない。
ああ、さつきちゃんに個人的に頼まれたってことね。
そういうこと。
She's really just my teacher. But Miss Naruse's parents and my parents have known each other since forever. So we're family friends. We're family friends. I don't think people even use that word in conversation. The people running the shrine were probably looking for helping hands because they knew the festival was going to be such a hassle. They said they couldn't trust the staff, which is why keeping guard on the sacred relic was my main task. But the job went south thanks to that whole natural disaster thing.
お前はいいのか？せっかく遊びに来たのに。
白蜜パフェってあったじゃん。
ああ、地名と白蜜をかけたあれね。
Shiromitsu white honey, ooh. White honey?
こんな小さいのに800円もした。味も普通だし、コンビニのスイーツの方がうまいし。楽しみにしてた自分を呪ったね。
800 yen for a sweet is pretty normal, I suppose. But yeah, if convenience store food is much better, then that's such a ripoff.
あれ、グッズもついてたろ？
近くにいた人にあげようとしたんだけど、いっすいらねっすって言われた。
おかしいな。参加者はアニメファンのはずなんだけどな。
絶対赤字だぞ、あのフェス。ってちょい。
She yanks on my arm as I try to walk forward.
なんだよ。
どこ行くの？
駅だよ。
なんで？
もう帰るだろ？
帰るけど、違うじゃん。家はあっちじゃん。
俺の家っつうか、俺の部屋はあっちだな。お前の家は一駅先だ。
Okay, so we live in different areas, for some weird reason.
私もあそこに住みたい。
無理、狭い。
てか、なんでニーヤンだけ一人暮らししてるわけ？納得いかないんだけど。
Yeah, they're not even consistent with the localization for the bro thing.
お前が一人部屋欲しいって毎日のようにダダこねて、お前にクソ甘いおとんとおかんが俺を家から追い出したからだろ。
それどこの世界線の話？
So, we didn't have enough space, that's why we got sent into an apartment? Isn't that better then? Damn, you must be pretty rich. I don't think most Japanese people would have actually sent the son out on an apartment, just like that.
俺帰るぞ。
やだ、止めてよ。
嫌だね。
やだ。
As my sister shows off her pampered worldview, wherein as long as she whines hard enough, she always gets her way, I drag her along towards the station.
まっすぐ帰れよ。
Pretty nice city.
はいはい、わかりました。バイバイ。
はい、バイバイ。
何、帰らないの？
帰る。お前が電車に乗り込んだらな。それまで俺はここを動かない。
I just realized, but what the hell is she wearing? She's like wearing some sort of like outfit that reveals her belly button. And then that jacket is clearly not helping you, like, you know, be stylish. God. I know I'm complaining a lot, but this is just my nature when it comes to like let's playing like this. Like, I'm the type of person that would not really skimp on the details. I would comment on a lot of things.
くっそ、全く信用されてない。じゃあね、バイバイ。
はいはい、さようなら。
Sora sucks through the ticket gate and disappears into the crowd. I've been worried about whether the earthquake shut down any infrastructure, but the train station looks all clear. I'd be surprised if there weren't a few delays, but the trains are up and running just fine. I make sure to stand watch until Sora's completely out of sight, at which point I turn back. Shiromitsugawa is something of a student town, so even here at the station, where there's a relatively large number of restaurants, it's never exactly bustling on a day off like today, when all the students aren't around. It doesn't help that the town hardly gets any tourists. How does it make money then? Look at all these buildings. What do you mean there's no one here? This is clearly a rich place. What the fuck? This town is somewhat well known because of the Corona Beverages headquarters being here, so one might reasonably expect the town as a whole to be also in good financial shape. I mean, looking at this, the amount of skyrise building, yeah, I would say this is a pretty wealthy area. But apparently that isn't enough to keep the town afloat. They went all out on a revitalization project. Revitalization, there we go. With that anime and everything, hoping to make the place a hot tourist attraction. But this is all we have to show for it. Kujo suddenly pops into my head. Cleaning up a mess you inherit from your parents has got to be pretty tough for the daughter of a company president. I've got to applaud her effort. I don't think it's really that, that much of a... I don't know. Maybe it is that much of a failure, the anime thing. They definitely lost a lot of money from that. I don't know how much money it is to actually make an anime, but if they're not making back the money and not even like helping out the tourist the tourist attraction for this place, then yeah, they're probably losing quite a decent chunk. As soon as I arrive at my apartment complex, the sun begins to set on the horizon. That unpopular festival should be just about over now. Man, I sure hope the earthquake earlier didn't make a mess of my place. I hurriedly opened the door. Earthquakes are pretty common in Japan, by the way, so I'm not really that, what's the word I'm looking for? Weirded out? It's not really strange for an earthquake to be happening just as we start the game. Despite my concerns, my apartment is surprisingly fine. This is a pretty nice space you got, my man. We probably have a communal kitchen, but the space seems pretty nice. Of course, I don't own anything I'm worried about getting busted up. Heck, I don't really own much to begin with. I mean, I don't know, the way you place your furniture is kind of nice. Usually people would put like the table at the very edge, like, the table that he puts his laptop in. But I guess that's because he doesn't have a chair. I don't even have a TV. The only thing I really care about is a laptop I use to get on the web. I turn it on and take a seat, waiting for it to boot up. As of this spring, I'm a second year. That means it's already been a whole year since I moved into this apartment. Nowadays, this place feels more like home to me than my folks. The only issues I have are, I have to fend for myself when it comes to meals, and I have to do all my own laundry. Washing and drying clothes is no big deal, but I've long since given up on ironing. I clean up the place when I feel like it. Right after I started living on my own, I try to get good at cooking too. But nowadays, I don't even try. I've thrown away every spice and seasoning I bought. Wow, look at this space. Yeah, this space is pretty nice. That was just the bedroom. We do have a fucking kitchen area. So yeah, this is a pretty nice apartment. We must be pretty loaded, man. If he's not even thinking about, like, cooking after the first couple of, I don't know, weeks or months here. Because cooking your own food is much cheaper than just buying everything. Reason 1, cooking is a pain in the ass. Reason 2, it jacks up my electric bill more than I expected. And most of all, reason 3, my cooking just plain sucks. It jacks up your electric bill? Really? I mean, I don't know. I still use a gas stove. So maybe if you're using some sort of induction stove, maybe. This trifecta of pain broke my spirit. Hence why my meals consist of either convenience store lunches and packaged food from the supermarket, or I get up and take a peek at the clock. Working today has worn me out. I kick back and browse the web until it gets late. You're using the laptop just to browse some Some websites? Can't you do that with your freaking smartphone? With the sun completely set and hunger starting to set in, I decided it's time to leave my apartment. My destination is my favorite spot, a place I've gone to for the past year since I started living on my own. I've been known to go there every day for long stretches, and at the least, I go once a week. Cafe 9 Ball. Though it's nominally more of a coffee shop, they have a solid lunch and dinner menu. And not only is it cheap, the portions are generous to boot. It's a heaven for students like me. On the weekdays, it's usually filled with a clamor of people stopping by on their way home from club activities. But considering it's a day off, I can probably eat in peace and quiet. I think the quiet there doesn't really fit in that sentence. After I checked the daily specials in the sandwich board in front of the restaurant, I opened the retro-style door. This is the new chick. The art style in this game is a bit... I don't know, I need to get used to the art style first because I actually thought this was either my sister or that Miyako girl. You know, the Kujo girl. When I open the door, the waitress greets me from further in. She quickly comes to show me to a table. Typo?
お一人様ですか?
はい。
お好きな席にどうぞ.
Wait, this is Miyako, so this is the same girl. The fuck? The cafe is practically empty. Why is she working here? I take my favorite seat over by the window and peruse the menu.
お水をどうぞ. お決まりになりましたらお呼びください.
はい。
Kujo places my glass on the table and walks away. So we know that that's her. Yes, the same Kujo. Her service is by the book, and I have zero inclination to start up conversation with her myself. We may be classmates, but obviously there's a bit of distance between the two of us. A friend likes to tease me, saying I come here all the time because I've got my sights set on her. But honestly, I only recently realized the waitress at my favorite restaurant was my classmate, Miyako Kujo. After opening ceremony at school, after D, typo, I came here to grab a bite, and once I went to pay my check...
同じクラスになったね. これからよろしくね.
That's what Kujo ended up saying to me. That was when it finally clicked. Oh, duh. That's my new classmate, Kujo. What's with the glasses? Some fashion that you have to wear here? And it also hit me that the 9 in Cafe 9 Ball matched with the Ku in Kujo's name. Which probably wasn't a coincidence. I guess this is family owned. You see, the retired founder of Corona Beverages, who is also Kujo's grandfather, manages and operates this cafe. I can be pretty oblivious to things outside my interest, I guess. Even Kujo got a chuckle out of it, saying, "Just now figure it out?" I'm basically the same way, to be honest, Kakeru. If things don't really pique my interest, I don't really care too much. I mean, what with her changing her hair, putting on glasses, and just acting a lot different from when I see her at school, I feel like she should cut me a break. Anyway, that was the closest to a conversation we've ever come, either here or at school. Still, she's acting a bit different today.
すいません。
はい。
Having decided on my order, I casually raise my hand and call over Kujo. Kujo trots over to me.
お伺いします。
ビーフカツレツのセット、ライスで。
I'm getting hungry myself, Kakeru, so that's a pretty nice dinner menu.
はい。ビーフカツレツのセットをライスで。以上でよろしいですか?
Don't order drinks, Kakeru. Drinks are how they actually make you pay more. Yeah, drinks are usually what costs a lot in these restaurants or cafes.
はい。
かしこまりました。
Smart guy. She briskly takes my order. Or maybe they actually give you free tea, I don't know. Sometimes it depends on the restaurant. Another part-timer I often see is standing nearby, and I hear her say, "What? No Salisbury steak today? Which is kind of annoying, but Kujo does me a favor by not joining in her teasing. However, Kujo doesn't head for the kitchen. Instead, she stares at me with a slightly apologetic expression.
ごめんなさい、新見くん。少しだけいい？
Well, this is a first. The surprise request leaves me at a loss, and I end up meekly nodding my head in reply. I was gonna comment on the fact that he probably usually orders Salisbury steak there. I kinda like this main character, is pretty much a boring person like me. I eat like mostly the same stuff throughout the whole week, unless I'm going outside with my sister or my brother.
ありがとう。これ、見覚えないかな？
She sets something on the table. I have no clue what it is though. Hairpin?
アクセ？
多分髪飾りかな。神社に落ちていたの。落とし主を探していたのだけど、見つからなくて。
ああ、それで俺に？
I pick it up and take a look at it. I'm not really a jewelry expert, but my guess is that it's made out of silver? The design looks like a flower. I think back, trying to recall if any of the festival goers were wearing this, but unfortunately, my memory isn't what you'd call amazing.
悪い、わからないな。見覚えはない。
そう、ありがとう。彼女さんと一緒だったでしょ？もしかしたらって思って。
Okay, that's how people actually take a look at me and Sora?
彼女？
あれ、一緒にいた。
ああ、違う違う。妹だよ。
ごめんなさい。早とちりしちゃって。
あいつもたまに髪につけてるけど、多分違うな。どちらかといえば、九条の方がこういうの持ってそうだ。
そう？
いつもつけてる。
She is? I don't even know.
あ、
She touches her hair with her left hand as if she just remembered that fact. I guess she takes it off when she's at work. But at school, Kujo always wears a pretty hair clip in that very spot. Well, that makes sense that I don't know it because we've only seen her normal school appearance maybe like, what, once or twice? And only for a couple of seconds?
私と気が合いそうな人を探せば見つかるかな。
What? If I look for someone I feel like I could identify with, I'll find the owner? What does that mean?
かもな。
I set the hair clip on the table and nudge it over towards Kujo. Someone that's similar to you, I guess?
ありがとう。ごめんなさい、時間取らせて。
どういたしまして。見つからないなら先生に預けておくのもいいかもな。
あ、そうね。それが良かったのかもしれない。自分で何とかしなきゃって思っちゃって。
責任感強いな。フェスも九条が一番頑張ってたし。
そんなことない。私は当日に少しお手伝いするだけだし。一番大変だったのは他のスタッフさん。
写真撮られまくって大変だったろう。
Yeah, I don't think she even, or Kakeru even said the paparazzi thing.
ちょっとね。でもコスプレした時点で覚悟は決めてたから恥ずかしくはあったんだけど。
似合ってたけどな。
Yeah, I don't think Kakeru even said it in that in that regard. He just said, "You look pretty good in it." Darn fine. That make it seem like he's such a pervert.
あ、妹が言ってたんだ。声優とか役者とかと勘違いしてた。
You're a pussy though, Kakeru. Can't even say that they're your own honest impressions.
妹さんに伝えておいてもらっていい？ありがとうって。
I guess this is what happens when you're like a teenager. You don't really feel like you're confident in telling someone that they're pretty or something. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't really mind saying that someone's pretty just for the, just because I do think they're pretty. It's not like I consider them to be like a romantic interest or anything. I'm just complimenting them on what I feel.
わかった。
I blurt out some nonsense and find myself slightly flustered. I take a sip of water to cool down. Oh, you do get free water here. And then try to get the conversation back on track.
にしてもイベントの後にバイトって働きすぎだろ。すげえな。
バイトといっても家業のお手伝いみたいなものだから。
仕事は仕事だろ。お疲れ様。地震とか今日は大変だったな。
そうね。新見くんもお疲れ様。いつもありがとう。
You know, for someone who says that we don't really talk too much, he's being very talkative to this girl. I would have ended the conversation short after the hair clip thing.
いつも？
お店に来てくれて。
She smiles sweetly and heads off to the kitchen. Yikes. My heart skipped a beat. God, I'm such a pushover. Well, you are a teenager, I guess, Kakeru. I clear my throat, trying to get out the weird, awkward lump, and decide to kill some time until my food comes by playing with my smartphone. See, we do have a smartphone. The place is empty, so dinner should come out fast. My inbox is filled with messages from Sora gripping at me, but I choose to ignore them and mark them all as read. Good job. I open up a game to waste my in-game stamina. Right about when I'm at a good place to stop, I sense someone coming and lift my eyes from the screen.
お待たせしました。ビーフカツレツセットです。
She lays out the dishes. It looks delicious, and you get a ton of food for 500 yen? Damn, that is cheap. 500 yen here. I can't help but wonder if they're actually making a profit. But regardless, this place is a godsend for poor students like... Huh? They don't really need to make a profit because they have a freaking company. This is probably something they do for a hobby.
コーラは頼んでないぞ。
さっきのお礼。嫌いだったら残してもいいから。ごゆっくりどうぞ。
I mean, I'm not gonna just deny someone's goodwill. Thank you. But that's 120 calories there. You better give me some diet cola. She picks up her tray, bows her head slightly and leaves. Not sure she should be thanking me. All I did was tell her I didn't know anything.
律儀だな。
I murmur to myself as I accept her kind gesture. I don't think that's what he clearly said, but whatever. And take a sip of the drink. Man, Kujo turned out to be easier to talk to than I expected. I always pictured her as being a little uptight. Makes me think maybe we could be friends.
いただきます。
I put my hands together in prayer for a moment and grab my pair of chopsticks. Just sharing a conversation with a girl I normally don't talk to is enough to make me slightly giddy. Yeah, that's a teenager for you, I guess. Man, I really am a softie. I don't think he's saying softie in Japanese. He's probably saying that, you know, he's easy.
ありがとうございました。
I finish my meal and exit the cafe. Weekday or weekend, this town is dead at night. There are more shops here than around my folks' place, but things are just as deserted here as they are there. Hardly any cars pass through the streets late at night, so on a whim, I decide to live a little dangerously and go walk down the middle of the road. This is the kind of freedom I have now. Sure, I only started living on my own so that Sora could have her bratty way. But nowadays, I've adjusted to this lifestyle so much that the idea of going back to live with my folks just sounds like a pain in the ass. I decide to take the long way back home to burn off some calories. Smart guy, I like you already, Kakeru. I'm right next to the shrine, and I figure I might as well go inside while I'm here. So I step through the imposing gate. I mean, Japanese people are a lot more aware of calories compared to people that are, you know, in the US or people like over here in Southeast Asia. I personally do not count calories until 4 years ago when I started getting into exercise and whatnot. But yeah, smart guy. He's only 17 or whatever. Not a trace of the festival remains. The shrine has been returned to its usual somber mood. Also, it's pretty darn creepy in the dark. I've got no real business here, so I guess it's about time I head back. I swear, I'm not just scared. Honest. I pick up on a dark shadow out of the corner of my eye and give a little jump. Oh, ooh. Okay, just a cat. No, wait. What is it? I get closer to confirm. Okay, this is the thing we saw on the sound config menu. Some anime merch, I guess? Pretty, unconventional. I guess if I wanted to be nice, I could call it interesting. Yeah, it has a pretty interesting design. Must have been dropped by a festival goer or a staff member. Damn, this thing spooked me good. I move it over to a spot where someone is more likely to see it, and I give it a little tap on the head. Didn't even say the little guy thing. I end up talking to the plushie to try to cover up the fact that it did, in fact, scare me. Giving the plushie a wry look to hide my shame, I sigh and put the shrine behind me. Alright, what the heck are you? This is gonna be turning into something like supernatural very soon. 4/18, so it's April 18th. My super duper fun Sunday is come and gone. Monday has arrived, and my no desire to go to school, it is. School-itis. Whatever, localization team. And don't want to get out of bed osis are both acting up. But I muster up my willpower and get dressed. I actually never really have that sort of mentality, by the way. The no desire to go to school thing. But I do feel like I feel the don't want to get out of bed thing a lot. But I actually feel like I really like school. I don't know. School, I guess maybe that's because I also talk to a lot of friends there. And I don't know, like, here's the thing. If this guy isn't going to school, what does he do? Does he just lay in bed all day? What can he do? Does he not think about that? He doesn't even live with his family. So I don't know. I pull out a pouch of jelly drink from the fridge and gulp it down. I was gonna say the reason I probably don't really feel like I don't like going to school is because my home is really lonely. Like, I don't live with my parents back then. Like, my dad already remarried and moved out to the remarried house with his remarried wife and also another kid. So I was basically living alone mostly with my nephew, or sorry, not nephew, my cousin. Not nephew, my bad. But yeah, he has work and I get home from school at like 2:30 and it's always just me alone. That's why I got to playing visual novels a lot during that time. Because after going home from school, I basically don't really have much to do. Like, I'm not really the type of person that also studies a lot. So I study just basically before the exam starts. And I get by pretty well. But yeah, enough about that. I just think that sometimes teenagers think that they don't want to go to school, but if they actually don't go to school, what are they gonna do with their free time, you know? That's the point that I'm trying to get across. Resupplying my energy reserves for the day ahead. Ah, the little bits of gelatin really hit the spot. After a quick bedhead check, I exit my apartment. April. I heard the average temperature is lower this year, which explains the oddly cool breeze. The brisk snap of a gust of wind helps me shake off my drowsiness. Someone shouts at me in a really aggravating tone. Going against the flow of students heading towards school, the owner's said aggravating voice shows herself. I keep my feet moving, walking along while reluctantly engaging in conversation. And we just buy something at the cafeteria?
残念だったな、今日はおにぎりだ。
そんなんでお腹膨れる？お母さんにニーニの分も作ってもらえるように頼んでおこうか？
え、マジ？
あ、やっぱないな。2人分のお弁当重いからやだ。
Yeah, I would have taken that offer too. That means less cost for me to buy some lunch.
うわ、ゴミを見る目だ。妹に向ける目じゃないよ、それ兄やん。
あのさ、
何？
お前友達いないの？
は、何急に？いますよ。いるに決まってるでしょ。
I do like this chibi art style. They put a lot of effort into the you know, like artwork and stuff in this game.
じゃあ友達と投稿しろよ、俺じゃなくて。
毎朝寂しく孤独に投稿しているお兄様に気を使ってあげてるんでしょ。
余計なお世話だ。
んだと？兄やんはさ、もっとさ、私に優しくした方がいいと思うんだよね。いっつもイライラしててさ。
Okay, give me a sec here, guys. I gotta change my chair real quick. This chair is really uncomfortable. Give me a bit. Give me like 1 second. And I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, it just did some chair switcheroo. There we go.
ちゃんと相手してやってるんだから十分優しいだろ。
そうじゃなくて、ああいう風に。
That out? What are you talking about? I don't think that's even what she said. What the hell? She points ahead of us. There's a gathering of male students there. No, wait. Not exactly. It's actually a meek-looking girl surrounded by a bunch of boys. Is she done? Wow, she has a very soft voice. She's acting awfully timid, but it doesn't seem like they're bullying her or anything. They all seem to be trying to charm her by chatting her up or offering to carry her bag. I really doubt this happens in real life, by the way. Throughout my whole school year, I've never seen anyone actually act this way for a girl. They really try to exaggerate the stuff that's going on in this school. I pick up the pace, trying to get past this crowd that's undoubtedly having a negative influence on Sora. Oh, sorry. I was like trying to see what the hell was going on there when I hovered through the bottom area. I thought there was like a text box on the left there, but it's just to show you what the abbreviation is. As we pass them, I check the girl out from the corner of my eye. I don't think she's in my grade. A freshman? A senior? She really looks like she's in a bind. We are in an eroge, Sora.
面白そうなゲームがたまたま18禁だったんですよ。
おかんに言っとこ。
I mean, I kid you not, guys. Back when I first wanted to play visual novels, this was back in 2010 or 2009, by the way. There weren't really a lot of all ages visual novels. It's not like in today's modern day where there's actually a lot of visual novels that are not really ero in general. So, my first instance of a visual novel was an ero game. I suffer Sora's antics all the way to school. While I shouldn't complain, Sora did just enroll here, and despite the way she acts around me, she's pretty shy. She's probably dealing with a bit of stress from the unfamiliar environment. That said, the way she tries to follow me all the way to class is just plain silly. So I ditch her and make a break for the second year room. pretty clingy little sister you got, Kakeru. I ignore everybody and head to my seat. The school year just started, so most of the people I knew got shuffled around to different classes from mine. Kujo is already here, but we haven't made eye contact yet. Well, that's the way it goes. I'm sure I'll get more familiar with my new classmates soon enough.
Ohayo! Ohayo! Ohayo!
Yeah, even the guy characters in this game look very feminine. If you know, they didn't voice act this guy, I would have thought this was a chick. As I'm trying not to make a scene, a youthful guy comes in with exactly the opposite plan in mind, greeting everyone around him. That would be Yoichi Fukazawa, the only friend of mine from last year who ended up in the same class as me. His androgynous looks, yeah, even he's commenting on it, and charming personality have won over a handful of girls, who I've heard call him a prince.
Ohayo, Kakeru.
He heads my way and perches on the edge of the seat of a nearby vacant desk. My unenthusiastic response of sup is, well, the norm.
昨日どうだった？
フェスか？
そうそう、行ったんでしょ？
行ったっていうか手伝いだけどな。
大盛況？
いや、自信があったろ。
ああ、あったね、おっきいの。
そのせいで一時中断って感じになってたし、去年よりも内容的にはひでんじゃねえかな。
あらら、グッズとかたくさん作ってたのに。
アニメの放送終わってどれだけ経ったと思ってんのか。けどま、九条のキャラは人気あったな。
I mean, I personally am one of those guys that don't really care if an anime is new or not. Like, I'm really a big fan of the Grisaya series, and that game came out in 2012, 2010. I played it in 2012 because that was when the fan translation of it came out. But yeah, it's really hard trying to get anime merch of it because I really am a big fan of it, but you know, I guess in terms of sales, it makes sense that they wouldn't really make items or merchandise for anime or a series that's already long past its due.
九条のキャラ？何？
コスプレしてたんだよ、九条が。
え？あの九条さんが？
そう。
Inevitably, we both turn to look at Kujo. She's sitting at her desk. Yeah, there we go. She is wearing a hairpin. Her spine straight as a ruler, looking distressed as she stares at something in her hand. Looks like the hair clip from yesterday. It seems she hasn't found the owner yet.
どのキャラのコスプレしてたの？
いや、名前わかんないけど、ヒロインとかじゃね。他にもレイヤーいたけど、一番露出度高かったよな。
イーリスだ！
え？
露出度高いなら魔眼のイーリスでしょ。
だから名前は知らんて。
うわー、僕も行けばよかったな。九条さんのコスプレ見たかった。写真も撮りたかったな。
そんな趣味あったっけ？
コスプレ自体には興味ないけど、エロい格好には興味あるよ。
I think most people are actually like that, Yoichi. Most people are actually not into cosplay, but more into the girls showing off that much skin. I personally think the true essence of cosplay is back then, before like all this Chinese people actually get into cosplay and showing off way too much skin. But I don't know, maybe I'm a pretty old-fashioned guy. Back then, people would probably cosplay anything, you know? Just as a form of self-expression, and the fact that they want or really like the character themselves. Nowadays, it's a business, Yoichi.
九条さんスタイルいいし、絶対使える写真になったのに。くそー。
I find myself glaring through hooded eyes at my friend as he seriously bemoans not taking compromising photos of our classmate. He may look like a pure and charming prince on the outside, but on the inside, he's a skeevy horn dog. With my baby face, I can probably pull off sneaking into the ladies' bath, don't you think? Yes, he seriously said that to me once. He's actually that bad. The gulf between his appearance and reality is bound to make any poor, starry-eyed girl's head spin. Then again, if he was as innocent as he looks, I probably wouldn't be friends with him in the first place.
写真撮ってないの？
撮られまくってたし、ネットで探したらあるかもな。
そっか、探そう、すぐ探そう。九条 さんのエロ画像を検索しよう。
そういうの大声で言うのやめろよマジで。本人に聞こえるぞ。
それはそれで。
よくねえよ、チャイム鳴ってんぞ。早く戻れ戻れ。
はいはーい。
Yoichi returns to his desk, blatantly getting out his smartphone to start on his new quest.
はーい、席ついて。朝のホームルーム始めますよ。
She's wearing the same outfit. Miss Narasa enters the classroom right as the bell goes silent, prompting my classmates to rush to their seats.
はーい、みんないるね。特に連絡事項はないんだけど。
I'm taking a look at their desk. They don't have those things where you can put your books in your desk. So does every time the bell changes for a new subject, we go to lockers and get the books ourselves? That's pretty inconvenient. I half listen to her and my eyes start to wander. Kujo is still staring at that hair clip. It's a little weird how preoccupied she is with some lost hair clip. Thank goodness, she doesn't seem to have overheard our raunchy conversation. I breathe a little easier. I'm not sure if it's because I just moved up a grade, but class is a drag. I actually have a very bad rep in school for being like the lewd kid. So unlike Kakeru here, if people actually heard me talk about some, you know, some ecchi stuff or some hentai shit, I don't really care too much. But I guess Kakeru's, you know, putting out that front about not being too much of a horn dog himself. I inevitably find myself mechanically writing notes, my mind drifting as I try to stifle the occasional yawn. 50 minutes taking notes, rinse and repeat. Perform this cycle umpteen times. Each one feeling longer than last as my boredom grows and I finally reach the promised land. After school.
掃除当番とかさ、業者にやってもらえばいいのにね。
そうだな。
Yoichi's complaints go in one ear and out the other as I sweep the hallway. This actually builds really good discipline, you know. Fortunately, and it also helps the school to not to not hire any cleaning staff. Fortunately, cleaning the hallway is easy work. I want to get this done and go home.
そういえばさ、あったよ、あれ。
あれって？
コスプレ。
あ
マイナーアニメだから思ったより時間かかったよ。さっきやっと見つけた。見る？
あ。俺は生で見たからいいよ。
そっか、いいな生。てか九条さんすごいよね。加工せずにこの可愛さ、そしてエロさ。
I really doubt people in their high school years actually touch up on makeup and stuff. So I don't know why he's commenting about that.
加工って？
普通さ、いじるんだよね。目を大きくしたり、肌をきれいにしたり。
Oh, he's talking about filters and shit. Okay, back in my day, probably filters weren't really that commonplace yet. So, not a lot of girls actually use filters. But yeah, in the nowadays age, I guess it's a lot more prevalent.
へえ、わかるのか？加工されてるって。
わかるよ。不自然に肌がきれいで人形みたいになってるんだもん。でもさ、九条さんはさ。
He moves a little towards the classroom door. And then he sticks out his phone so the camera lens is pointed into the classroom.
隠し撮りなんかすんなよ。
違うよ。見比べてるの。ほら、見てよ。
I peer at his phone. There on the screen is the picture of Kujo blushing her head off. And meanwhile, in the classroom is the real Kujo. She's talking with Miss Naruse, a serious look on her face.
ね、写真と一緒でしょ。
わかんねえよ俺には。
なんでさ、スラッとした足、キュッとしたウエスト、ごまかしなしの写真だよこれは。
Yeah, even though I was a horn dog back in high school, I don't really care a lot about my actual classmates. I was knee-in too deep into the anime world. I kid you not, there was no person that I feel I was attracted to. I mean, sometimes I would see some people and I'd be like, yeah, she's pretty cute. But I don't really think about her in that sort of way. Yeah, maybe I was too much into the 2D world, man. Just like the stereotype where there's like these guys who's into the Nijigen.
つまりこの写真のボディラインも真実ってことだよ。それがどういうことかわかるかいかける。
わからん。
ボディラインさえ完璧に把握できれば九条さんの裸まで想像できるってことさ。
いや、ちょっと声を抑えようか。
九条さんのラブボディをイマジネーション。
お前わざとやってんだろ。でかい声出すな。
Flustered, I glanced at the classroom. Yeah, a couple of my friends are actually like this, where they're super perverted and talk about girls all, like, you know, the girls in class and whatnot. I can't relate to them. I really can't relate to them. Crap, Miss Narsa is looking our way, and Kujo is hanging her head. Figures, they overheard, right? Of course they did.
ミミくんちょっと
え、
My eyes pop. Why me? Are you serious? Why just me?
いってらっしゃい。
お前も来いよ。
やだよ、呼ばれてないし絶対怒られるし。
くっそ。
This is how it always goes. Whenever Yuichi's in the picture, I'm the one who ends up holding the bag. I propped the broom against the wall and trudged into the classroom.
なんですか。
ミミくん何か変わったことあった？
はい。
いえ、あの
I was absolutely certain she was going to yell at me for a dumbass conversation. Instead, I just get asked some random question. And for no apparent reason, Kujo is freaking out. What the heck is going on?
ミミくんにも見せたんだよね。そうですけど
何の話です。
九条さんがお祓いしてほしいって。
Huh?
お祓い。
A hair clip? Kujo blushes and looks away. Oh, I see. It must be something private she doesn't want to talk about.
なんで俺に話すんです。
だって呪われたならミミくんもだろうなって。
はい。九条がそう言ったんです。
いえ、違うの。ちょっと昨日から不思議なことがあって。
どんな。
She sticks out her hand and shows me what she's been hiding. Hiding in it. The lost hair clip?
これが。
気づいたら近くにある。
あ。
そうよね。そんな顔になると思う。
待ってくれ。話が見えないんだ。
引き出しとかに入れても気づいたらポケットに入っていたり手の届くところにあったりするんだって。
勝手に移動してるってことですか。
Okay, I was wondering why she actually brought that to school. If the person who lost it was at the shrine, I doubt it's someone at school that would be the owner of it.
だよね。
Kujo nods. No way.
何それ怖い。
ねえ、怖いよね。心霊現象だよ。自分でもバカバカしいと思うんですけど、でも怖くなってしまって。
それでお祓いか。
ええ、昨日神器が壊れてしまったと聞いて、そのせいなのかなって。
ああ、やっとわかった。そういうことね。
神器のせいなら壊しちゃった新見くんが真っ先にひどい目に遭いそうでしょ。
そうっすね。って違うっすよ。壊したの俺じゃないっすから。
そうだ、昨日のバイト代ですけど、
ああ、はい。
お父さんとおじいちゃんがすごくショックを受けているので出ません。
嘘や。
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know how long we've been there anyway, so we got home pretty fast, right? And it wouldn't make sense for us to get paid.
先生。ああ、お祓い？そうだな。もうちょっと様子を見てみてもいいんじゃないかな。様子ですか？そうそう。だってお祓いしたところで何も変わらないだろうし。そうなんですか？ だってインチキだよ、お祓いなんて。
You live in a shrine, Satsuki. You can't say that. I mean, I guess she can, but you can't say that out loud.
いいんすか先生、それ言っちゃってもいいんすか？
心霊現象も大体思い込みでしょ。お祓いなんてもう大丈夫って気分になってもらうためのものでしかないんだから。あれだよあれ、スパシーバ効果。
Placebo, Satsuki.
プラシーボ効果。ああそう、それ
先生の間違えた。
わざとわざと。それにね、万が一本物だったとしても悪いものかどうかまだわからないでしょ。どうでしょう。
He said, I'm not sure, not I'm pretty sure.
何かあった？悪いこと？夜眠れないとかそういうのはないなら別にいいんじゃない？ほっといても。
適当だな。
病は気から、心霊現象も気から、気にしないのが一番。それに白田つくも神社の巫女といたしましては、それはきっと神聖なものだよとしか言えないしね。
ああ、つくも神ですか。
そうそう、壊れちゃった神器も一応は白田の神様から賜った宝玉に魂が宿ったつくも神様ってことになってるからね。
そんな大事なものなのに、紙粘土でレプリカを作ればいいとかよく言えましたね。
だって私そういうのを一切信じてないし。
This woman is hopeless.
とにかくその髪飾りもつくも神様なんじゃないかな。土地柄的に悪いものではないと思うな。そうですね、わかりました。ありがとうございます先生。様子を見てみます。はい、じゃあニンくん、
あ、掃除に戻っていいんすか？
九条さんを送ってあげなさい。
はい。
不安がってる女の子を一人で帰らせるなんてひどーい。
いや大丈夫でしょ。
Yeah, she's fine.
大丈夫です。自転車ですし。
You rode on a bike? Your points are getting higher in my book now, Miyako. People who ride bikes? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm a bike aficionado.
自転車とか関係ないから、こういう時に青春したらいいじゃん。恋心とか育んだらいいじゃん。
恋心って。
そんで職員室の話のネタにさせて。あいつら付き合ってるみたいっすよ。けしからんすな。
ほんとダメだこの人。俺たちをおもちゃとしか思ってない。
とにかく送ってあげなさい。九条さんは自転車の準備して校門で待機。はい。新見くんは掃除終わったら校門に直行。
So is she just gonna, like walk with the bike along with me? Man, that's so inefficient.
はあ。
それでデートっぽく二人乗りして転んで入院してしまえ。
なんなんすか？先生は俺らをどうしたいんすか？
入ってるだけでも楽しい。はい、じゃあね。先生も忙しいのでまた明日。
She wraps a stack of printouts on the table to align them, picks up her attendance book, and exits the classroom. Admittedly, this is par for the course, but I still marvel at how incomprehensible she can be. Kujo is completely at a loss, unsure what to do after Miss Narusa's injunction that we go home together.
悪いな。あの人いつもあんなんで。
新見くんって先生と仲いいのね。
昔から知ってるからな。
だから昨日のイベント。
そう、個人的な手伝い。
そっか。
送った方がいいか？家まで。
バイトに行くだけだし。
そうか。まあ、なんかあったら相談してくれよ。力になれるかは分かんないけど。
ありがとう。その時はお願いします。
She gives me a deep, formal bow. Boy, you can really feel the class divide between us when she does that.
じゃあ、お掃除頑張ってね。
ああ。
来てね。
明日か明後日くらいに。
さよなら。
She waves her hand, and I almost wave back out of reflex, but I stick it into my pocket and watch Kujo trot off. Why does my heart always skip a beat over the dumbest things? Because you're a teenager, my friend. Being a virgin sucks. I don't really think it has anything to do with being a virgin. I'm a virgin and I'm freaking 27, my friend. I sigh and return to cleaning duty.
なんか普通に帰ってきましたね。
まあな、助かった。別のことで。
何だったの？
ああ、フェスで落とし物拾ったから持ち主知らないかって。なんだよ。
九条さんと親しげだったなって。
そうでもないだろ。
なんか隠してない？
何をだよ。
くっそー、僕を出し抜くなんて。絶対昨日九条さんとなんかあったよ。
ないっつうの。俺掃除。
僕もフェス行けばよかったな。チェー。
I take the broom and resume sweeping. He's oddly perceptive, for what it's worth. I probably should be honest with him, but it isn't my secret to tell. I'm still not sold in this whole paranormal phenomenon thing. It seems awfully fishy to me, but I suppose the world is home to some mysterious things. I don't believe in those things too, but I don't know. Like, some people stand by them, and it's not like I've ever experienced something supernatural myself. But if I were to say I don't really believe in them, I'm back home. Looking forward to taking a load off, I walk through the kitchen, open the door, and
ああ、おかえり。
you have my key. Sora's lounging on my bed. Gee, how thoughtful of her to hide her shoes where I wouldn't see them so I'd be more surprised to find her.
どうしたん？まあ、ゆっくりしろよ。
お前、どうやって入った？
合鍵。
渡してねえぞ。
そう、渡してくれないからお願いって頼んでみた。
親父か。
ちょろかったですわ。
ほんとお前に甘いな。
I stifle a sigh and throw my bag onto bed.
言ってなんだよ。
当たってないだろ。
はい。
何しに来た？
空きスペースの確認。
私物は持ち込ませないし、同居もしない。
ちくそ。
帰れよ。
ご飯食べようよ、一緒に。それくらいいいでしょ。
食ったら帰れよ。
やったー。美味しい料理作ってあげるね。
I don't think we have any ingredients.
料理覚えたのか？
全然。
お前も帰れ。
あ、ハンバーガー食べたい。マック行こう、マック。
へいへい。着替えるから待ってろ。
まだ食べらんないよ。ゲームしよう、ゲーム。
二人でできるのなんてない。
あ、ニーヤのモンバスの300時間のデータ間違えて消しちゃった。
お前マジ帰れよ。
300 hours. What an addict.
美味しかったー。ごちそうさまでした。
If someone actually did that to one of my save files, though, I probably would have been pretty angry, but she was probably joking. Right? I hope she's joking. If not, she's gonna get a spanking from me. What the fuck?
まさかおごらされるとはな。
いい女は財布を持ち歩かない。
クソ野郎だな。帰れ帰れ。
I agree, Kakeru.
はいはい、帰りますよ。あ、今日定期忘れたから切符買わなきゃ。
財布持ってんじゃねえか。
じゃあねー。
She waves her hand and vanishes into the station. I'm beat. Dead on my feet, even.
帰ろう。
I murmur to myself, turning around to head back. Having a little sister like her means that you're at least not gonna get bored, Kakeru. This must be around when after-school clubs start getting out. This late? I pass by a bunch of students in uniform. After-school clubs for me is probably about 5 o'clock. This is probably about 6 or 7 because of the night sky. Now it's probably peak hour at 9 ball. And as soon as I think that,
あれ
in a surprising coincidence, Kujo appears 10 feet away from me on her bike, and then whizzes right past me. She seems to have noticed me as well, as she slams on the brakes. Not only that, but she gets off and deliberately walks her bike back to me.
こんばんは。
Are you done with work?
ああ、こんばんは。あれ、バイトは？
As though suddenly embarrassed, she averts her eyes a bit and puts on a wry smile.
今日バイトの日じゃなかったの。
Oh,
勘違いしちゃったか。
すごく恥ずかしかった。少しだけお手伝いしようと思ったんだけど、むしろ邪魔になっちゃったし。
それで帰ることにしたわけか。
そうなの。あ、新見くんは今から？
how is she... How the hell is she getting in the way? She's a waitress, right? It's not like she's cooking in the kitchen. More waitresses are always a good idea to have. That's impossible for me to comprehend.
ああ、いや、今日は別のところで食った。今から帰るとこ。
いつも外食なの？
まあね、料理できないし。
ご両親共働きとか？
え、ああ、そうじゃないけど、俺一人暮らししてるんだ。
そうだったのね。知らなかった。ちょっとごめんなさい。変な想像しちゃってた。
家族に仲間外れにされてるって？
そこまでではないけれど、いつも一人だったから。
心配どうも。家族仲は良好だよ。
よかった。あ、ごめんなさい、詮索しちゃって。
口癖？よく謝る。
そうかも。お母さんにあなたのごめんなさいは軽いってよく言われる。
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes you don't really need to apologize for minor details.
重いごめんなさいも困るけどな。
そうね。あ、ごめんなさい、引き止めちゃって。
まだ言った。
She puts her hand over her mouth, covering a worried smile.
頑張って直してみる。
別にいいけどな。送るか？
ありがとう。自転車で20分くらいかかるし。
うわ、思ったより遠いな。電車は？
日々節約が我が家のモットーだから。
意外なモットーだな。
Yeah, not the motto I expect either from rich people.
よく言われる。じゃあ。
あ、また。
She gives a little... I really wish they actually showed off her bike. I really want to know what bike she was using. Is it just a mamachari? If it is, I'm gonna be quite disappointed. But it probably is. It's probably not a road bike or anything. She gives a little bow before getting back on her bike and pedaling off. It feels like between today and yesterday, I'm suddenly talking a lot more with Kujo. Sadly, getting your hopes up over nothing is all too common for a virgin like me. Time to head back. I finally make it home. Thanks to Sora, my bed is a mess. All the manga she read without my permission are just lying around wherever she left them. She really gets on my nerves. An unfamiliar object is resting beside my pillow. A plushie? Sora leave this here? Hang on a sec.
これ。
He said this is, by the way. It's the same one I found at the shrine. What is it doing here? Or maybe Sora just happens to have the same kind of doll, and she left it here. Maybe she's just harassing me and she was behind both incidents. No, I'm probably overthinking things. No way would Sora even know about me finding that doll at the shrine last night. In that case, she just plain forgot her plushie here.
勘弁してくれ。
Disappointed at how much I freaked myself out, I take the plushie and put it on top of my bookcase. Right, time to tidy up. Guess I'll clean this mess up and hop into the bath. Are you turning green? It's actually moving his hands too. Creepy guy. I think I'll do one more day here before we...
知ってる？ あの噂。
end the episode. I'm only at an hour 25 minutes right now. I think a 2-hour episode for this game is probably not a bad idea. Depending on what point the day cuts off, I guess, is probably a good part for me to end the episode for this game. Lunchtime. I take a bite of my mediocre sandwich from the cafeteria and engage in mediocre small talk with Yoichi.
公園の
公園の
ベンチに
ベンチに
石像が座ってるって。
どんな
女の子の。
お前はほんとそんな話ばっかりだな。
別に女の子だから食いついたんじゃないよ。
嘘だ。
嘘だけ
ほらな。
どめっちゃくちゃよくできてるらしいよ。今にも動き出しそうなんだってさ。
また無駄なことに金かけてんな、うちのシバ。
Wait, what? Oh, I guess it's something that they made. Okay, that's what he's saying.
なんで死が出てくんの？
公園管理してんのは死じゃないの？女の子の石像とか作りそうじゃん、アニメの延長で。
そうじゃないっぽいよ。近くに学校あるじゃん。
ああ、はいはい、区法か。
そうそう、区法女学院。そこの制服着てるんだってさ。昨日まではなくて、今朝ね、犬の散歩に公園行ったら座ってたって。
それ噂か？食いついたのお前だけだろ。
別にそんなに話題にはなってないね。女子が話してて、僕が詳しくって割って入った感じだね。
で、その特別話題にもなってない石像が何なんだ？
確認したくない？
何を？
ちゃんとパンツまで作ってあるのか。かける、たまにそういう目するよね。心底呆れてる目だよ、それは。
たまにじゃなくて一日に数回はしてると思うんだがな。
You know, that's actually a pretty interesting thing to think about, Yoichi. I don't know whether or not people actually make statues with panties. You're actually... These are the questions that we need to think about. Usually I'm not really into this sort of dialogue, but he makes a good point. I've never actually thought about that.
おかしいよ、かけるは。性欲ないの？ホモなの？
バカ野郎、大声でそういうこと言うな。
ホモじゃないなら見に行こうよ。すごいらしいから。ほんと生きた人間をそのまま石にしちゃったみたいらしいから、芸術品としてもきっと価値のあるものだって。見に行こうよ。ね、ね。
なんでそんな必死なんだよ。芸術品だろうが俺は。
それ私も言っていい？
は？
え？
We're both so shocked to see her cut into our conversation that our eyes go wide. Even all the girls who were eating with Kujo until a moment ago are looking on in shock.
九条さんも見たいの？パンツ。
I don't think so, Yoichi.
おい。
ごめん、冗談。石像見に行くだけだよ。
昨日まではなかったんでしょ？
Did she not hear our second conversation?
そうみたい。
だとしたら早朝か深夜に運んだことになるでしょ？
Yeah?
おー、そっか。
それって変だなって。公園のモニュメントを市が作ったにしても、設置するならお昼とか迷惑にならない時間にしないかなって。
Makes sense to me.
ああ、なるほどな。そう言われてみると確か
に。ね、不思議でしょ？
確かに不思議だ。
かけるも興味出てきた？
悔しいけど出てきた。誰かが勝手に置いたってことか？
アートだよ、アート。反社会的な。シャッターにスプレーで落書きするあれと同じノリだよ。
アートね。
なんだか気になっちゃって不思議だなーって。一緒に行ってもいい？
いいよ、僕は。かけるもいいよね。
俺はまだ行くって言ってないんだけどな。
じゃあいいよ、九条さんと2人で行くよ。
それも心配だからついてくよ。3人で行こ
う。そっちの2人は？
Yoichi invites Kujo's friends along as well. They glance his way and shake their heads, looking dubious.
おう、振られちゃった。
じゃあ3人でアートってやつを見学しに行きますか。
ありがとう。じゃあお カゴに。
With a quick bow, Kujo returns to her seat.
びっくりした。僕九条さんとちゃんと話したの初めてかも。ガンガン話しかけてくるタイプなんだね。
俺たちが身構えちまってるだけで案外気さくかもな。
仲良くなれそう。
バカなことするなよ。九条に何かあったらこの町に住めなくなるぞ。
そんな大げさな。あ、お父さんコロナに勤めてる。
九条の機嫌損ねたら首が飛ぶな。
靴でも舐めといた方がいいかな。
それ喜ぶのお前だけだろ。
True?
ベロッベロに舐めてべちゃべちゃにしたい。苦いとなおよし。
There's something wrong with you, my friend.
何がなおよしだよ。
I saw him bite into my yakisoba sandwich. That was strange. She was oddly serious. While I could always chalk it up to that overwhelming sense of responsibility of hers, something's bugging me. Well, it's probably no big deal.
ねえかける。もし僕がやらかしたらかけるも一緒に九条さんの靴舐めようね。
No?
なめねえよ。
So disgusting.
ごめんなさい。お待たせ。
I mean, I wouldn't even lick people's, like, like feet when they're bare. Licking shoes is even worse. Look at how much dirt and grime or any sort of bacteria is on shoes, man. It's disgusting. Kujo arrives leading her bike. Me, Yoichi, and Kujo. What an odd combination.
それじゃあ行こっか。
へいへい。
公園ってあっちの？
そうそう、10分もかからないくらいの。
あ、カバンよかったらカゴに。
いいの？ありがとう。
新見くんも。
俺はいいよ。もうぎゅうぎゅうだし。
じゃあハンドルにかける？
かけるだけにハンドルにかける？
はいはい。
ダジャレのつもりはなかったんだけど。ごめんなさい。
Oh, that's what she was trying to say. I actually have no idea what the hell she's saying before.
いや別に謝らんでも。
I thought she was saying that I should be the one that leads the bike.
真面目だな九条さん。九条だけに。
九条だけに。
That's probably a play on words. I guess Kujo is...
だけ。
She's actually still saying it. Kujo, I guess, is serious?
あんま真剣に考えなくていい。こいつの話は9割適当だから。
失礼だな。10割だよ。
ほら。
僕たちのノリについてこられなくて九条さんが引いてる。
お前のな。お前のだけな。
Things are a little strange the whole way to the park. Yoichi natters on, and I respond half-heartedly. Kujo, in contrast, doesn't really speak. I don't think Yoichi is right about why she's gone quiet, though. She's not having trouble keeping up. Rather, she's deep in thought. Something has her on edge. Could it be that paranormal phenomenon we talked about yesterday? Or maybe she has a clue about the statue. Well, either way, we'll know soon enough.
あれかな。
Yoichi points as we reach the park.
うわ。思った以上に。
I don't think this is a freaking statue that someone made, guys. Are you kidding me? A realistic statue is sitting on the bench. A statue of a female student. And it is indeed wearing a familiar school uniform. The statue makes her look like a rather charming girl.
苦しそうな顔。
だな。
It's shockingly detailed. Enough that even someone like me who knows nothing about art can tell. But in spite of that, there's no one else checking it out. Presumably because of how damn spooky it is. The girl is seated on the bench with a smartphone in her hand. The pose makes it look like she's just here to take a quick break, typo. But her face is anguished. The sight of a sweet-looking girl in apparent agony has probably been scaring off anybody curious enough to come check it out. I can almost feel the incredible terror she's experiencing.
考える人ならぬ苦しむ人みたいな。
何の目的でこんなところに。ラボ、じゃねえや、アトリエ？そういうところに飾ればいいのに。
飾れない理由があるのかも。
師匠が俺を認めてくれないから世間に認めてもらうぜ。
世間を騒がせるのが目的だとしても途方もない労力だな。これ作るのに相当時間かかったんじゃないか。
Well, my first thought is that, something supernatural happens, even though I don't really believe in that. But I am influenced by a lot of fantasy stuff I read online. I guess these guys are a lot more logical than me.
だよね。どうやって運んだんだろう。自分でここまで来たのかな。
まあ今にも動き出しそうではあるけれど。
っていうかいい匂いしそう。胸とかも柔らかそう。
触るなよ。
ここまで来たらセクハラの限りはって。あれ、
どうした？
ここ変じゃない？
おい、だから触んなって。
Which spot? Ignoring my warning, Yoichi fusses with the statue. I can't believe he's going to cop a feel from a statue. What is this dude's deal?
ほら見てよ、ここ。
爪の部分。
I actually thought it was the logo on her smartphone, but okay.
ここだけ石じゃないよ。
生爪。
おいおい、怖いこと言うなよ。
でもそれっぽくない？本物の爪を貼り付けたみたい。
本物使うなんて趣味悪いってレベルじゃねえぞ。
メッセージ性を感じますね。ここに本物の爪を使うことによって。
Huh? Yoichi brushes the nail and it falls right off. What the fuck? The statue's fingernail just fell off. Is that like her fucking inside of the skin? Ew, what the fuck? Is that actually meat?
やべえ。
Yoichi whispers after several seconds of silence. Why are they not like making a big deal out of this? Why aren't they like touching the actual inside of the fingernail there? Is that actual human fucking flesh? For crying out loud.
だから触るなって。
どうしよう。やばいかな。やばいよね。怒られる。捕まる。僕捕まっちゃう。
知らねえよ。ああ、やっちまった。
I guess they're more fixated on the fact that they're breaking the statue, but you guys not see what the hell is inside the fingernail? Oh my god, it is!
どうしよう。ボンドボンドでくっつけておけばいいよね。ごまかせるよね。
待って。
ダメかな。やっぱボンドじゃダメかな。
指から
ね。
血が。
I like how the music is still playing. That music.
Huh?
I look at the statue's finger. Are you freaking kidding me?
気のせいじゃない。本当に血が出てる。どうして？なんで？
石像が出血するなんて。
おいおい、待てよ、落ち着けよ。インクだろ。
でも血っぽいよ。すごく血っぽいよ。
そういう感じの色合いにしたんだろ。落ち着けよ。石像が血を流すはずないんだから。
I try to calm the others down while I pick up the fingernail that fell to the ground near the statue's feet. The underside is awfully raw looking, almost like there's a portion of skin attached. The red drops on it look like dried blood too. Is it the sculpture's fingernail? And the blood too. Maybe they drew some of their own and put it in the statue. They drew. But that'd be insane. My thoughts stop upon hearing Kujo's murmur.
何？
ごめんなさい。
All I get in response is an apology. She doesn't even try answering the question. I hope her imagination isn't running wild. connecting this with the paranormal phenomenon from before.
ねえねえこれどうしよう。どうする？逃げる？
I guess the catalyst of this is actually when the artifact broke? Is when the supernatural stuff started happening?
悪質ないたずらだ。こんなの公園に置いとくわけにはいかないよな。
警察に連絡した方がいいかも。
ああ、そうだ。そうだな。そうするか。
嫌だよ。怖いよ警察。捕まっちゃうよ。
ビビりすぎだろ。九条、今日はバイトか？
そうね。
陽一、ナインボール知ってるよな。
あ、はい知ってます。
九条を送って行ってやってくれ。警察には俺が話をするよ。
了解っす。
でも
こんなつまんないことでバイトに遅れるわけにいかないだろ。いいから任せとけって。
Very mature of this guy. He still doesn't think there's anything wrong with this. He's very calm.
ほらほら九条さん、行きましょう行きましょう。ここは男前のかけるに任せておけばいいから。
分かった。じゃ
ああ、終わったら報告がてら店に行く。
じゃあ僕はお茶飲みながら待ってるね。行こう九条さん。
The two of them depart, Yoichi with a spring in his step and Kujo looking unconvinced. I let out a sigh. A combination of simple annoyance at the situation and first-time jitters about making a police report has got me nervous all around. I backed myself into a corner here by trying to show off in front of Kujo. Okay, that was his main driving force. A bloody fingernail. A statue that bleeds. Well, I can't just walk away from this whole thing. I set the fingernail in the statue and pull out my phone. My heart is pounding like mad as I slowly dial 110 on my phone and call the police. They let me off the hook sooner than I was dreading. Honestly, they looked totally put out? Like they were just going through the motions and trying to get out of there. Eventually, I made my way to the cafe, arriving as the sun was setting. They gotta know that that's an actual human being turned to stone, right? Slightly exhausted, I open the door and enter. Are they hiding something?
いらっしゃいませ。
Kujo calls out instantly, a practiced reaction. When she realizes it's me, however, a hint of concern touches her businesslike expression.
大丈夫だった。
学校と連絡先聞かれて終わったよ。陽一は？
あっちに窓際の席。
I track Kujo's eyes to discover Yoichi waving me down. I resettle my bag on my shoulder and head over to the table.
早かったね。
まあな。
Once I set down my bag and take a seat, Kujo comes over with a glass of water.
ご注文はお決まりですか？
じゃあコーラください。
かしこまりました。少々お待ちください。
She gives a bow before going to the kitchen. We talk a lot more now, but the distance between us hasn't really changed, I guess.
いいね。バイト中の九条さん。コスプレとは違う可愛さがあるよね。
まあ雰囲気変わるよな。学校にいる時と。
で、どうなった？僕逮捕される？
爪を吐いちまったのは俺ってことにしておいたよ。
かける！君はなんていい男なんだ。結婚して。
やだよ。説明がめんどくさかったしな。
僕たちも一緒にいたって言わなかったの？
そこは正直に言ったけど、友達といてバイトがあるから俺だけ残ったって。
追及されなかった？共犯は誰だって。
別に警察もめんどくさそうに来てたしな。交番にいそうな制服の警官が2人。
They didn't care? What the fuck? Damn you, Japanese police!
結局ただのいたずらだったの？あれ。
さあ。ただ爪と血を見た瞬間はちょっと目の色変えてたな。
Duh! Okay, they do care. After they knew that it wasn't a prank, they probably cared.
名前とかいろいろ聞かれてもう帰れってさ。 待ってた時間の方が長かったよ。
せっかく通報したのに使用対応だね。
Yeah, that's true, Yoichi. Pretty annoying.
まあ、親切にされても困るけどな。ただ、俺があの石像を置いたみたいな反応をされたのはちょっと腑に落ちなかったな。
Yeah, now they actually gotta do some work.
石像の制服ってさ、やっぱあの子のと一緒だよね。
あの子？
ほら。
He jerks his chin a little, urging me to look behind me. Sitting at a table near the entrance is a short-haired girl wearing a Kujo Girls Academy uniform, just like the statue. I watch as she calmly digs her spoon into her dessert and takes a bite.
パフェクイーンか。
はい。
常連だよ。たまに見るんだ。いっつもパフェ食ってるから勝手にあだ名つけた。
How is she not fat? Parfait is like 800 to 1,000 calories. How is she not fat? She's a fucking girl.
へえ。かわいいなあの子。声かけてみよっかな。
Damn you, anime and your unrealistic expectations.
お、頑張ってこい。
ごめん、そんな勇気ない。
だと思ったよ。
お待たせしました。
She silently places a soda and a straw on the table. Normally, this would be where Kujo would offer a bow and walk away. But instead, she holds the tray to her chest and stands there for a moment.
新見くん、リングってやってる？
Huh?
ああ、やってる一応。
Oh, I guess that's line. I still have no idea why line is never used sometimes on some of these VNs. Because I think that line actually is not copyrighted.
よかったらこれ私の ID。
She sets a scrap of paper next to my glass. Maybe they're just being careful. I know that Japan doesn't really want to deal with copyrighted stuff, so maybe that's why.
バイト終わった後にお話できないかな。警察とのやりとり詳しく教えてもらいたくて。
いいけど、別に大したこと話してないぞ。
それでもいいの。ちょっとでもいいから知りたくて。
バイト上がり何時？
今日は8時まで。
じゃあ9時くらいに連絡する。
ありがとう。お手数おかけします。
She gives me a deep bow by way of thanks and goes off to greet a customer who entered the cafe. Oh shit, I just got a girl's number.
見せてよ。
やだよ。
見せてよ。
やだ。
見せろ。
やだって。
I carefully tucked the note away in my pocket so that Yoichi doesn't steal it from me.
あ、くそ。見せてよ。僕も九条さんとリングでお話ししたい。
ああ、うめえ。女の子に ID もらった後のコーラはうめえわ。
くっそー。ちくしょ
You guys are being very exaggerated about this. Ignoring Yoichi's bitter tears, I wet my whistle with some sweet cola. That better be Diet Cola, Kakeru, I'm just saying. A hair clip that follows you around. A statue that bleeds. All this occult stuff is kind of freaky. But it's also helping Kujo and me grow closer. So I've got mixed feelings about the whole thing. Honestly, it's enough to make me have the idiotic thought, gee, I sure do hope something else happens.
ねえ、かける。最初の2文字教えて。1文字。
コーラうめえ。
くっそ
ー。どうした？
クイーンに睨まれた。
大声で騒ぐからだ。
だってかけるが九条さんの ID 教えてくれないから。
コーラおかわりしよっかな。
I kill some time with Yoichi, eat dinner while I'm at it, and when I'm done, I head back home. I boot up my computer, waiting for the familiar startup sound.
待ってたのに何寄り道してんだよ、ニーヤのバカ！
But I'm instead greeted to by a delightful new recording. I immediately go into the settings and revert it. This virus I've picked up seems awfully persistent. Might be a good idea to change the locks in my place. Why do you not have a password protected for your laptop? I'm actually not joking. I begin looking up locksmiths online. One thing leads to another and I end up surfing the web for a while. It's 5 till 9. I step away from my computer and fidget with my phone. Sending a message at exactly 9 would probably be coming on too strong. Or at least be a little off-putting. Ugh. Writing about this is stressing me out. I don't really care about that. I promised her 9. I'm sending the message at 9. Who cares, Kakeru? I end up sending the message at 9:03. I guess people think about this shit. Maybe Kujo has been waiting this whole time since I get a reply right away. Thank you very much for the message. It's me, Kujo. It's a modest, reserved, and somewhat formal message. However, I'm antisocial and hardly have any friends who are girls. Nah, who am I trying to fool? I don't have a single one. At any rate, even a tepid conversation with a girl is a thing of joy to me. You're kinda creepy, Kakeru. I'm grinning like an idiot. I must never let Sora or Yoichi see me like this. Trying to keep my enthusiasm in check, I do my level best to prepare a cool and composed reply. What do you want to talk about? I reply. Not even a minute later, Kujo zips back a reply. How did the authorities react? The authorities? Yikes. Talk about stuffy. It's one thing to be a little uptight in person, but even on a chat app? I try not to pay it any mind, refocusing myself, and tell her the same thing I told Yoichi. I detoured by the park on the way back home, but the statue is no longer there. I type what I muttered as is in reply. It would appear so. I really wish they just showed us the chatting app here, just like what happened on the 25th ward. Perhaps a police investigation will shed some light. This is just a hypothesis, but it's possible that statue was actually once a human being. She says it's just a hypothesis, but the message seems strangely confident. Slightly at a loss as to how I should answer her, my fingers hover over the screen. If that girl had once been an actual person, she might have asked the Parfait Queen about if there was some disappearance in her school. How could a person be turned into a stone statue? Like, encasing them in cement? That'd make this some bizarro murder case. If that's what's going on, then there'll be a huge uproar. It also means Shiro Mitsugawa's name will be dragged through the mud yet again. That'd be kind of a bummer to say the least. But that's not the kind of tongue-in-cheek response Kujo is likely after. I guess she really is into all that occult stuff, huh? I've never really bought into it much myself. I'm sorry, I was only joking. Perhaps sensing the bewilderment behind my hesitance to respond, Kujo follows up with that. A little flustered by her apology, I try to give a non-committal reply. You know, a lot of strange things have been going down lately. I try turning the conversation to the hair clip. But maybe she's realized that talking about the occult isn't going to help the conversation along. And she gives me yet another curt reply. I'm fine, thank you. We exchange some idle chit-chat until Kujo wishes me goodnight, signaling an end to our talk. I put my phone on sleep mode, set it next to my computer, and sprawl out on my bed, when something catches my eye. That mysterious plushie. That reminds me, I never did check with Sora whether this was hers. I reach out and grab it by its, torso? Head? Anyway, I grab it and pull it over. It's oddly heavy, unsettlingly warm too. Maybe, like the stone statue, this thing's insides are also alive. It has a zipper, why not open it? I try fiddling with the zipper running down the length of its face, but it doesn't budge, okay. Just for decoration, huh? I muttered to myself, setting down the plushie and getting to my feet. We've had a huge earthquake, a broken sacred relic, a cursed hair clip, and now a human petrification. I'm afraid to see what happens next. Scratching the back of my head, I make my way to the bath. Is it gonna turn green again? Nope, okay. Alright, I guess next episode. Oh, I thought that the ringing sound wouldn't stop until I actually clicked the text. So yeah, I think this is actually a good spot for me to end the first episode. The first hour was alright, but it wasn't until the human petrification where I felt that something was actually pretty interesting in the game. So I think this first episode was actually pretty good. It ended off at a pretty good story segment, right? In my opinion, I think these episodes should be around this much. It's about an hour 56 minutes. Like I said, I probably will take a look at when the dates are rolling over, because it seems that these dates are... The first date was like an hour, and then the second date was about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then the third date right here is about 20 to 30 minutes too. I think a good place for me to end the episode is when the dates change, basically, right? And I don't know whether or not it's gonna be exactly 2 hours. Sometimes I might end early, sometimes I might end like a bit longer, depending on the cliffhanger that is happening on the story. But I feel like right now, because nothing serious is going on yet, this is probably a good first episode. Next episode is probably when things are gonna get a bit more serious. I really legit thought that we were gonna get some superpowers or whatever though, because I read the synopsis, but it seems there's just more occult stuff happening, not really superpowers. Maybe I misread it, I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty enjoyable so far. Needs more characters in my opinion, but I guess they want to focus on specific characters for each of these episodes. And right now we're actually focusing on Kujo. Because if you guys pay attention to the... If you guys paid attention to the opening here, like if I return to title, it's... There we go, sorry. As I was saying, it specifically said episode 1, Miyako Kujo. So this for sure is talking about the fact that we're gonna be mostly exploring her story for this first episode. Maybe the second episode we're gonna go to a different girl. Does that mean we're gonna be having sex with multiple girls? I don't know. That's gonna be weird if so. Because I don't think this game is a harem game. At least I don't think it is. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I'll be putting this up on the free preview for people on Patreon as a free member. So yeah. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored once there is some uncensoring that needs to be done. And yeah, I told you guys about the free Patreon thing, so just become a free member and you guys can watch this free first episode. If you guys want to watch the episodes after this though, that's where the pledge on Patreon actually supports me. And you guys can get early access to all this as soon as I'm done making the episodes. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on the next one, which is for people on Patreon gonna be tomorrow. This is not gonna be until I think maybe April 2025 for people on YouTube, because right now I'm taking a look at my upload schedule for YouTube and I'm not done with Amayui yet, and Amayui is at episode 45. So yeah, it might even be longer than April, maybe like June or something crazy like that. But okay, enough about that. I'll see you guys on the next one.